You guys are not fucking ready for this video. Let's do it. This is a breakdown of DC3 Media's entire content strategy that's allowed him to get 800,000 followers and millions of streams for his music. This guy is the definition of viral, right? And I copied the exact same principles for the artists we work with, and it's allowed us to get millions and millions of views and hundreds and thousands of streams. I'm making this video so I can show you how to do the same, all right? But first, you have to understand the problem. And the problem is that everyone is posting the same type of content to promote their music, right? That means that you over here, you look like this guy here, and that guy there looks like this guy here in the back that you can't even see. And that's all because your music sounds very similar. Like there's only so much the music can change. So the only thing you have to separate yourselves is your visual identity. And when you're all posting the same generic hooks, the same music video snippets, and the same performance style videos, you've got no visual identity. And that's why you haven't seen any growth, right? It's not because your music is bad. It's because you're too busy trying to be a musician and not busy enough trying to be a content creator, okay? And I know it sounds bad, but that's the way it is in 2025, right? And this is my artist, Adri, okay? And he's at 500 view jail. And within 1 week, we make one content switch and you get 710,000 views, 100,000 views. And that means within 7 days, this guy got 1 million views for his music. All that attention from TikTok resulted in ready to listen qualified fans, right? And that means that Adri went from 4,000 monthly listeners to 30,000 monthly listeners. And his single Easy is on 116,000 streams with his new EP that he just dropped, gaining 200,000 streams. This has meant that Adri can now monetize music. He's selling out small venues and getting paid for his streams and views as well, right? And I've dealt with hundreds of artists, and there are two types of you guys. There are content artists and there are music artists. And notice how I've put, one of our artists, Jo, underneath as an example of content artists. You might have heard of him. I definitely have. But for music artists, there is no example because I haven't heard of you yet, because you don't post about yourself. So how could I have discovered you, all right? And that's what I'm trying to get at in this video. You have to force yourself to be more content-minded, and it will 10x your music, okay? Just look at Laura. She's in 300 view jail, and she gets a 400x increase to 127,000 views on her first video, right? And then artist Gary, he's on, not too bad, averaging 12,000, 15,000, 20,000 views. Using our strategy, 3.8 million views, right? This guy's gone from 500 to 5,000 monthly listeners from one video, all right? So that's why content is the highest lever you can pull for your music. And it's not just on social media itself. Yes, you build an audience, but you also translate that into streams, okay? So Loco Escrito has gone from 125,000 monthly listeners to 250,000 monthly listeners. That's a 5x in streams altogether, just because of a simple content change and just the mindset to go all in on content. Best part about this is that people have already done the hard work, and we're just going to steal what's worked for them, right? And that's exactly why I'm reverse engineering DC3 in this video. What I want you to do now, pause this video and write down your 3 favorite creators, right? These are people you genuinely enjoy watching and consuming their content. You're entertained by them. And these are people you've listened to or you think are about to blow up. And then you reverse engineer the why. Like, what specifically do you like about their content? Why do you like their content? How do certain things make you feel, right? And then you can create the exact same feeling that they made you feel for your own fans, all right? You just have to go a layer deeper and understand why that actually is, okay? And that's why I'm breaking down DC3. Before we analyze DC3's content strategy, we need to understand why people buy into him in the first place. And on the surface level, it's because of the way that he carries himself. He owns the screen, right? It's a style of his clothes, playful sophistication, right? Because if you look at him here, he's wearing a suit and tie, but he's got a flat cap on, right? And that little fun, childish detail is intentional. It's exactly what he wants you to think of him. And then finally, it's Christianity, right? And I'm going to get into this in a second, but he has a mission and he has an enemy for him and his audience to go after, all right? And this brings me on to it. So first, you have to decide your ideal listener. So for DC3, it's young Gen Z UK rap lovers who thinks slightly deeper about life and God. The thing is about DC3 is that as soon as you see these type of photos with the nostalgic tracksuit on and the great British flags in the background, you can't help but think that the redemption of UK rap has hit. You can't help but think that this is the guy that's going to lead the next generation. You gonna lead the next generation. It's not just me who thinks so. He has created an enemy for him and his audience through his lyrics. Naturally, that enemy is the devil because of his Christianity angle, okay? And he's also got a mission, and that mission is to redeem UK rap. It's to block off the haters, block off the stupid industry, and just carve his own lane. He's spreading that message through his lyrics, but he taps into Gen Z, the people he's trying to get to, through the funny scenarios, through the visuals, and then he'll hit you with the lyrics to get his message across, right? It's all intentional. When we're looking at what DC3 gives you that no one else can, is the fact that he'll make you laugh, then he'll make you think, okay? He doesn't water it down for anyone, all right? And that's the way that he taps into Gen Z, but also shows them the message that they need to hear, right? Because it's entertaining, okay? These Snapchat methods and these funny scenarios, they're all entertaining. And that's exactly what Gen Z wants. It's that dopamine, it's to laugh. But then he'll hit you with this message that you need to hear. And the second thing is that in a Western world that's losing religion, artists like DC3, they're a last stand, right? And the confidence, the demeanor, it transfers to you. So when you actually get deep into his world and listen to all of his songs, you start thinking, religion, God, maybe I'll go to church. You know what I mean? Like, these things really do have a subconscious effect on you when you listen to music because it's so spiritual. And the next thing to talk about is he's not rapping about booty cheeks or like shank in the mandem. You know, people are in pain, and artists like DC3 are there to soothe it, not just mask it with some BS. Are you with me on that? So you don't just leave feeling entertained when you watch his videos. You leave with a shiver down your spine, and that's the emotion he's given you, right? He engineers his content to amplify the feeling of his song, okay? So then you ask yourself those questions, like what specifically do you like about their content? Well, I like the fact that it starts off funny and then it gives the message I want to hear. Why do I like his content? He's not copying trends. He's the trendsetter and it looks effortless for him. So how does it make me feel? You feel in on something, and sometimes it's shock, other times it's confidence, right? But you feel in on something, right? In on the joke, in on DC3's world. That's the only way to put it. He is the main character, okay? Right? And then when you look at his strategy, what's the vehicle to getting millions of views? And what I've noticed is there's 3 content pillars. There's transitions, there's performances, and there's carousels, right? These 2 are the most important. First of all, when you look at transitions getting millions of views, he's always in turmoil. There's always something he has to overcome. So it's always a disaster. It's with him getting punched, him getting his phone stolen, him starting a house fire, and then it always transitions at the perfect time into his song, where he's overcoming the turmoil that he's shown in the hook. The next content pillar is performances. This one here has 15.3 million views. It's because of his style, it's because of his branding, his identity. But then there's also the visual hook, right? Which is actually to do with the strategy. The visual hook is the phone getting put to his ear. In this one, it's the notes being shown next to him. In this one, there's another DC3 in the frame. And in this one, there's those posters again with the text hook, all right? So it's never just a boring lip sync or part of a music video. It's always engineered for social media. It's never just a performance. That's what I'm trying to say. And his carousels, they're like a checkpoint. They're a moment in his life that we all needed to see, that he wanted us to see. And he just lets us in more in his world. And yeah, that's pretty much his content strategy for the service level. It's not too complicated. It's all of these things behind it that really give it the edge that nobody else can give you, right? Now, building an audience as an artist in this day and age, you can't just be like old school, looking mysterious. It doesn't work anymore. It's being someone that looks up to, and that means you have to let them in. It's not being mysterious. And for DC3, he's young and people still idolize him. That's how you get people to not only listen, but to become a super fan. And those are the people you can monetize. Those are the people who buy tickets. These are the people who sell merch, right? Who buy the merch rather. So that's all about monetization too. So it's monetization, and having superfans is all about your positioning. It's how you come across, because your music will feel and be different with the visuals with it. Don't think about music and content as separate parts. Think about them as the same thing. You're creating the feeling of your music through the visuals. You have to let your content amplify that feeling, okay? And the next part is potentially the most important part of DC3's content strategy. It's how he hijacks culture for virality. And you can see it in the comment section. People catch on. Both switch from Kendrick to Dave like we wouldn't notice. All right. Now I want to show you the pictures just to demonstrate my point. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, DC3. Maybe this one's quite subtle, but it's undeniable in this one. Right? Kendrick Lamar, DC3. Right? Stormzy, DC3. And the thing about this is it's all intentional. He knows people compare him to Kendrick. So he's done that. He knows that he's like the man, the face of UK rap on social media right now. And who was the face of rap on social media 10 years ago? It was Stormzy in that bloody red tracksuit. Okay, so he's copied it. MJ, he's timeless. He's a superstar. Why not copy him? And then finally, there's this Jay-Z song that he's put his own Christian twist on it. All right. So it's all about stealing like an artist and putting your own twist on it. You cannot just steal. You have to steal like an artist. And that means you put your own brand, your own twist on things. Now that we've analyzed DC3's entire strategy, we need to figure out, how do you do this for yourself? So how do you find the positioning? How do you find this angle, right? So first of all, the similar way that we did for DC3, you need to understand who is your ideal listener. So what do they love? What do they hate? What is trending for these people? What emotions do they want you to feel? And why listen to you over famous artists, all right? Those are the questions you need to answer, right, to find your unique angle. Once you've found your unique angle, you need to figure out, it's not your brand, this is a weird term, it's your identity, okay? You need to figure out, what is your identity on social media? So there's 3 questions to ask yourself there. What are the emotions you're trying to make people feel? What is your mission? What is your enemy? And what styles and demeanor do you have that's unique, right? Then you can create a mood board, so you can figure out who are those artists that inspire you. What are those styles? And what are those moments in culture you can steal like an artist, all right? So then you come to creating your strategy. You've got these 3 content pillars to use, right? So for the transitions, the formula for DC3 is turmoil and danger. So what is the feeling you're trying to provoke? And how can you amplify the feeling of your music with this feeling? So therefore, once you've got that, for example, for heartbreak and love, it's heartbreak and love, right? There you go, sorted. Then you have a formula now for crafting your hooks when you're doing the transition method. If it's high energy, then it needs to be shock, or it needs to be dangerous. Are you with me? So then you've got transitions. Now you're into performances. So what is your visual hook going to be? Right? What is your subtle storytelling, and what is your demeanor? For DC3, it's almost disinterested in it, but it's confident. He's kind of just over it, is what he seems like. And then he's also got this like energetic dancing that he does. So first of all, visual hook, then it's the storytelling and demeanor, right? So those 2 go hand in hand. They all go hand in hand, really. So just figure out what that is for you. What can you do, and what do you like doing when you're in front of the camera? Then it's into carousels, and these are just checkpoints in your life or an important message you want to portray to the audience. Yeah, with all of that being said, right, like, I just need to tell you this again, is that the music, it matters more than anything else to do with the content. The music is the first problem you have to solve. If your music isn't good enough, you will not go viral. And the best way to think about this is, how mainstream is your music? Because that means you have more competition, right? So how mainstream you are correlates to your level of competition. So what you need to do is try and find a way to make your music more unique. And the way I like to describe this is with the micro genre diagram. So you can see at the top there is the main genre, which is just UK rap or rap. And then there is micro genres underneath it, and there's jazz rap, and then there's nostalgic rap. You need to find whatever that is for your genre. Because the reason that is is that when you have a micro genre, you know exactly who you're talking to. And you can also be the best, right? It's unlikely that you'll beat Drake or Kendrick or whoever it is, or even DC3. It's unlikely that you'll be better than them. But when you have a micro niche, you've got no competition or less competition, so it's easier to be better. And that's why, and DC3 has that in Christian rap, and the artists we work with have that, and that's why they can go viral, right? So that's why, you know, when you work with us, it's kind of like we are brutal with music because we have to be, because you won't get results otherwise. So that's something we like to do as well, is really listen to music, really just help you make it as well, and turn it into a viral song that does have the potential to trend. And yeah, this is pretty much everything you need when it comes to creating content. Like this year, if you implement this and you post every day and you've understood your positioning, you've understood your unique angle, and you've got a micro genre to target, you're gonna dominate your space. Like, you're gonna blow up because nobody else gets this concept. Everybody else is too worried about music and posting 5 reels a month, and they're all music video snippets. They're not even viral content, right? I have no idea why, but if you do this, it puts you ahead of 99% of all those other losers. I understand that this concept here is going to be very hard to wrap your head around, very hard to implement, so I know that you might need help doing it. Now that's why we're here, the Rapville agency, right? So if you want to book a call with me or Mr. Rapville, there should be a link below where you can just book a call with us, pick any time that suits, and we'll see if it's a good fit, right? We've got loads of results, so you'll be able to see them as well. And yeah, peace out, guys.